Welcome to the Service Coordinator Business Unit at NHE. This presentation will review a few things that you can expect as you begin your career with NHE as a Resident Service Coordinator. Let's begin by walking through a few things you may need to know about our business unit. The Service Coordinator Business Unit serves over 7,000 units of senior disabled housing in 15 states. Our leadership team has combined experience of 38 years, and we began providing service in the year 2000. We pride ourselves in focusing on owner-manager relationships and delivering the meaningful outcomes. Our leadership team has been recognized as industry experts. Here's a map to show you our footprint and the states where we provide service coordination services. Let's take a moment to review what you can expect your first week at NHE. Before we begin, you may want to grab a notebook or paper and pen for notes. Have a telephone, internet access, and a printer, as well as making sure your space is quiet and uninterrupted so that you can focus on the information being presented. Here's a few things that you can expect. If you haven't already, you'll want to meet with your property manager to receive your keys to your office, the building, or any other necessary keys that you may need. Make sure that you have submitted all of the necessary paperwork to the HR department at NHE. Once that is completed, they'll be sending you information on how to access and utilize your web clock and performance payroll. Web clock and performance payroll are how you'll receive your benefits and paycheck from NHE. You'll also receive an email from your supervisor and/or structured IT instructing you how to log on and gain access to your NHE-issued email account. This may come to your personal email. Therefore, you will want to check your spam or junk files to be sure you haven't overlooked it. Finally, you'll also be receiving your Ask Online user credentials. If you're not familiar with Ask Online is the documentation system that NHE utilizes for all resident service coordinators to keep track of service logs and interactions with residents on site. Take a look around. Become familiar with your office. What equipment is there and how does it work? What other information, binders, resource directories, calendars, resources, etc. are available? Keep notes and track anything that you may need. If you're not sure how equipment works, you may want to check with your property manager or supervisor as they may be able to offer you some guidance. Tour the community. Where is the restroom, the break room, community room, stairway, etc.? Contact your supervisor. Reach out to your supervisor to let them know you made it to work, as well as to schedule your orientation training. Finally, you'll want to schedule a meeting with your property manager. This will take place after you've met with your supervisor for your orientation training. You'll be discussing things like house rules, lease, and other information that may be helpful to understand what is needed for residents to maintain occupancy in their lease. Here's a list of important documents that you will need. Generally, your supervisor will send these to you if they aren't already on your work-issued computer. The American Association of Service Coordinators, or ASC, Program Manual. This is the program manual which we utilize to maintain compliance with industry standards and maintain standards of practice for housing and urban development. The NHE Documentation Reference Guide. This is a document that will help you understand when, what, and how to document in resident files. NHE Important Numbers. This is a list of important phone numbers on how to reach personnel at the home office at NHE. The Social Media Policy and Photo Consent or Release Form are two documents that are pretty self-explanatory. However, if you have any questions, feel free to ask your supervisor and they would be more than happy to review these policies with you. The training tracking form is usually sent from the quality assurance specialist. However, your supervisor may provide a copy for you. This is a document that will help you maintain and track your industry training for the first year as a resident service coordinator. In your first year, you're required 36 hours of training in specific areas. Your quality assurance specialist will review this with you when you meet with them. You'll also receive instructions for ordering business cards and office supplies. Let's talk a little bit about what you can expect for your orientation. The orientation for resident service coordinators will be provided by your supervisor. The platform that we utilize at NHE for training is GoToMeeting. Because we work in a virtual environment, GoToMeeting provides a classroom space where you can meet face-to-face via webcams with your supervisor. They will go over the orientation checklist with you. The orientation checklist will provide instructions and information on policies, practices, and what to expect, as well as job expectations. Once you've completed your orientation, you will then be paired with a mentor. Our mentor program helps new resident service coordinators find their groove or get their footing while having peer-to-peer calls with a space where they can ask questions, make suggestions, or offer general help. Your mentor wants you to succeed. They're seasoned professionals who have been working with NHE for several years. Our mentors truly create a safe space for you as you begin to learn and understand your position and role as resident service coordinator. In the first 2 weeks, you'll also meet with your quality assurance specialist. Your quality assurance specialist provides you with checks and balances. This allows you to maintain compliance with housing and urban development standards of practice. They also help reduce legal liability and provide training that allows you to improve upon your job skills. Your quality assurance person will give you a call or meet with you via GoToMeeting to discuss things that you may need to understand to maintain compliance as you begin documenting in resident files. Here's a quote from one of our resident service coordinators. "I love working for NHE because I really feel like part of the family, and the support I receive from the Service Coordination Business Unit is outstanding. I always feel welcomed and it's easy to ask questions. It is our hope that you will truly feel this way as you begin your journey with NHE." Switching gears for a moment, take a moment to watch this short video that will help you understand how to utilize the web clock timekeeping system. Web clock is how you will be clocking in and clocking out, as well as tracking your time to receive your NHE paycheck. Please take notes if needed and ask your supervisor any questions you may have once you complete watching the video.
Welcome to your Employee Self-Service Portal training video. The next 5 minutes or so will provide information on how to navigate through the site, as well as perform specific functions. Please obtain the login links, as well as your ID and password for the timekeeping system from your timekeeping provider. The Employee Self-Service Portal is a convenient way to empower employees with self-management permissions via the Internet. The first page is the Welcome Dashboard, which contains announcements and statistics specific to your login. Announcements are messages that the management team would like to share with you, such as a company lunch, annual review appointments, and so on. You can access various pages from the left menu. The first is the web clock, where you can clock in or out, or if applicable, enter additional information, such as job, department, tips, mileage, or anything that applies to your company's requirements. Next, you can perform a number of functions through the time card. Primarily, you can view your hours worked. Depending on the permissions given, you may be able to add a note to the time card by clicking on the pencil icon. You may also be able to add or edit your time card, as well as approve the time card at the end of the pay period. The approval process is simple and ensures that you have made a full review of your time card. This can be accomplished in 2 ways. 1. Select specific days by clicking on the yellow image, then hover over Time Card Options, Approve Time Card, then click Approve Selected. The second option is to approve the entire pay period by choosing Approve All Entries. The third option on the left is to view the hours you are scheduled to work, which has been specified by your supervisor. Fourth is the option to request time off. This is one of the features that is most utilized because it creates convenience for you and saves time for your manager. You will choose the category from the drop-down. The options are set specific to your company's requirements. Next, choose the date, the amount of hours, and provide a description. Once you have clicked Send Request, the supervisor will be notified via email and the request will populate in the administrative portal. Once the request has been approved or rejected, the request will populate in the appropriate section. If your manager makes an adjustment to the request, it will be considered conditionally approved, which means you will need to either accept or reject the manager's change. Next, you can run an accruals report. The accruals feature will have to be activated before this page calculates. If the settings are in place, you can see how many PTO hours are available for a specific date range. This allows you as the employee to plan your personal time off accordingly. And last, you can update your personal information, which includes your password, phone number, and email address. Also, you have the option to receive an email when your time off request has been approved or rejected, but you do have to opt in by checking this box. We hope you enjoy the Employee Self-Service Portal, and thank you for watching this video.
Let's introduce you to our leadership team. Dorothy Davis, LPC, is the Vice President of our business unit. She's also the Director of Quality Assurance. Dorothy has designed and wrote the American Association of Service Coordinator Quality Outcomes online class. She's written over $25 million in HUD Service Coordinator grants. Dorothy was the first provider in the country to provide a turnkey approach for owners and managers in regard to service coordination. She's also faculty for the American Association of Service Coordinators, SAMA, and Leading Age. Brenda Sawadawa, BSW, is the Senior Director of our business unit. She's also a Quality Assurance Specialist. Brenda has over 10 years of direct experience as a service coordinator and is an ASK faculty member. Heather Bischoff, AHM, is the Director of Service Coordination, also ASK faculty member. Heather is the co-creator of the Service Coordination Institute. She also is a recipient of the ASK Awards of Excellence and has over 14 years of industry experience. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to NHE. We hope that this presentation has answered a few questions that you may have as you begin working with NHE. We are so glad you're here.